The bridal business is really easy because we're a revolving door of clients coming in and out every weekend. We've got a different bride every weekend, but keeping connections alive is really important. If you are a studio and you have the space or the capacity, and honestly, even if you aren't, but you are recognizing the value of networking and community and that kind of thing, hold events, you guys. Hold events. Welcome to the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, the show for bridal hairstylists, makeup artists, beauty pros, and yes, even brides who want the behind the veil scoop. I'm your host, Heather Dick, bridal business coach, salon owner, and ringmaster of a 50-person squad that styles hundreds of weddings every year. Around here, we go beyond the hairspray. Think scaling your business, setting boundaries, surviving high-pressure moments, and creating client experiences that everyone raves about. So whether you're building your bridal empire or planning your big day, grab a coffee or champagne, and let's talk business, beauty, and a whole lot of bridal. Hello, welcome back to the Expansion Code. This is number 3 of 3 for the Bridal Client Series. So one of the challenges that I've always faced with the wedding industry is having repeat clients because, people are getting married every year, obviously. Every day, people are getting married every day. So, finding new clients isn't hard, but getting them to stay can be a little challenging. And so I wanted to discuss, how do you turn that client into a raving fan? How do you get your clients to talk about your business? How do you get them to come back? And you don't necessarily have to have a studio like Blush where we offer everything, because it hasn't always been that way. For a really long time, we only offered makeup services, and then we added hair, and then so on and so on. So I want you to think of the wedding as the beginning and not the end of your relationship. And when you have that mindset of like continuing to work on that relationship and really trying to get them to hang around, things flourish. And you know what else flourishes? Your bank account. So let's talk about elevating the experience for your clients. I get lit up when I talk about this because I'm very, very passionate about this, especially just in recent days since we got the studio. It was like, how can we make this better? What can we do better for our clients? One thing that we started to implement just this past year is sending out a 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month check in. And what we did is we created these, Rachel, our studio manager, and I created these prep guides. Like, I was finding that brides, let's say they were getting hair extensions put in, and they would be like way too early or way too late. And so they were always behind the ball. And the client doesn't know when to do this. This is your job. This is your profession. You know when to do this. When should they get a laser appointment? When should they get their eyebrows waxed? When should they get a spray tan? There's so many things that brides do to prepare for their wedding day. So why don't you be the professional in that instance and provide them with a guide? It doesn't necessarily need to be a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, because that can be logistically a little bit of a nightmare, especially if you're a solo person at this moment. But feel free to set reminders in your calendar at the beginning of every month. Send a check-in with your bride. Hey, we are 3 months to the wedding date. If you are thinking about doing this, here's when I recommend booking all of these services. Or do it 6 months, or even do when they book it, because and send reminders, because clients, brides especially, they're inundated with information. Okay. They're inundated with so many emails coming out to them. It's a lot. It's your job to remind them of when to book these things. So that's a fun little thing that we've added in the past couple of years. And I think brides really appreciate it. It also reminds them to book services at our studio and what we offer. The next little tidbit or thing that you can think about is a little touch-up kit. Now, I don't mean something like super elaborate. We used to do a touch-up kit for purchase. It was $65, which was way too little, by the way, considering how much one lipstick costs. You could do something that's a little freebie. So you can do just a little pod of lipstick and an applicator, and then your business card, some bobby pins in there. You can go as far as getting like little mini hairsprays. It's all what is in your budget and what you have the capacity for. But just a little touch like that, people love it. And we had a 4-star review, not a 5-star. We have a lot of 5-star reviews, but this is a 4-star that I remember. The client said, we had a really great experience with Blush. Everything was perfect. I will say, the assistant makeup artist on my job handed out lipstick touch-ups for all of my bridal party, but my lead makeup artist didn't. Oh, that's a miss. We all should be doing that. So that's something to think about. Just get some off Amazon. It's super cheap, really, really easy to do. Then your bride doesn't have to worry about it. Or at the time of your trial, pick up a lipstick for them. There's many, many ways to skin a cat, as they say. Cameron's going to be proud of me because I always mess up my sayings. But there's lots of different ways that you can elevate your client's experience when it comes to a touch up kit. Book a strategy call and we can talk about it. Timeline planning is something else. So this is all preference. We at Blush don't really love a timeline. Here's why. Nothing is ever guaranteed to go the way that you think it is on a wedding day. Let's say you have Susie show up at 8, Melissa show up at 8:30, Sarah showed up at 9, and so on and so on. And Susie slept in, Melissa's kid's sick, Sarah shows up. It's just a nightmare. You can't plan that. But what happens is you create this timeline and then Sarah shows up 15 minutes early and you're like, okay, you know what? My chair's empty. Let's go. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not supposed to go till 9. You've hooped yourself. So what we do at Blush is we just say, if you can, please have everyone at the venue or the location or hotel or whatever at 8 a.m. when we're supposed to start, and we're going to pull people as we go. Whenever my chair is empty, I'm going to have a new button mat chair. If people don't want to do that, then just say at least have people there, have 2 people show up every half hour. And then that way you don't have any downtime. You don't get that. Like, you see those reels on Instagram where the bridal hairstylist is like waiting around. It's like, oh, wait, wait, wait. Sorry, I forgot to do this. You're eliminating that. It's like, okay, no problem. Then I'm going to grab the next person. Someone sits in your chair with sopping wet hair. Okay, blow dry your hair. Next one. Your time is really valuable. And especially on a wedding day, the timeline is the most important thing. I always say this to our brides. It is our job to make you look good, and it's our job to make you on time. Hairstylists and makeup artists have a really bad habit of taking too long. We need to stop this. We need to be really aware. A bride has been anxious for the past year. It is your job to make sure that she is done on time. It is your job to make sure that the bridal party is done on time. I'll say no more about that. I was talking low for a dramatic undertone. I think one of the things that the great part about our industry is you can make it so personal. You could offer them literally spitballing, okay? You could offer them a free chemical peel before their wedding day. That's a little risky, but you could offer them a free hand massage on the wedding day. There's just so many ways that you can elevate your client experience. And one thing that we have implemented, if you listen to episode 2 and you really took in what had happened over the past 2025, our brides are really anxious and they don't want to be in like a conveyor belt and spit out like, I don't know, a quick toy at a factory. I don't know. They want us to take our time. They want to know that when they look in the mirror or whether they look at the mirror throughout the whole process, that they are going to love every aspect. So what we are doing at Blush now going forward is we're going to add a mini facial. We've always done skin prep, but we're going to add an actual facial. So like getting those lymph nodes released and drained, and we're going to do a hand and an arm massage. We're going to have a little bit of aromatherapy involved. We'll do a scalp massage, not using oil, obviously, but something like that. And all this does is it just before when that client sits down, they are high. They're running high. They're probably like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from their ceremony time. They feel that energy, and you should be able to feel that too. This allows your client just a little bit of time to just slow down. Just sit, close your eyes. I'm going to give you a hand massage. We're going to just take our time here. Allow for that time. Maybe instead of book half an hour, maybe you start booking 45, 65 minutes with your bride. Allow them to talk to their people. What we used to do is we would just do makeup as fast as possible, hair and makeup as fast as possible. I even had speed clinics, we called it. But this was right after COVID. This is when we were doing 3-4 weddings each a day. And it's not like that anymore. We've leveled out. We're doing a normal amount of weddings every day and with a regular amount of clients. We don't need to be fast. We can take our time and we rush through everything else. So why don't we just like slow this down? Why don't we relish in this moment with our bride and really make them feel special and relaxed? Quick pause because I have to brag on my first business baby, Blush Artistry. If you know me, you know that Blush isn't just work, it is love. And we are talking hair, makeup, skin treatments, private personal training, the full beauty experience inside and out that makes you feel like the main character, whether it's your wedding day, a birthday, or just because you love taking care of yourself. My team, they are absolute pros. They've got the talent, the heart, and the hype to make you feel amazing. That's why Blush is the go-to beauty squad in Western Canada. Can I get an amen? So if you're ready for a little glow up moment, head to blush-artistry.ca or catch us on Instagram at blushartistrymua. All right, let's get back to the show. What do you do after your bride is married? Do you do anything? Do you check in? Do you send a follow-up email? Do you ask for a review? Do you have an email list? This is the key to keeping that relationship alive with your client. And it isn't just social media because you can't rely on the algorithm. You don't know if they're seeing your things. You want to reach out directly. Our system, our scheduling program automatically follows up with our clients, whether they're a bride or a maternity shoot or whatever. So we have that automatically done, which is great. We send email marketing. I try to do it once a week. I love making our emails. So really try to do it once a week, but if not, at least every 2 weeks, every month at the very, very least. So now that email is coming into their inbox and it isn't just like a, hey, how was your service with Bush? It was like, hey, it's obviously a blanket email going out to 9,000 subscribers, but we'll say Katie's offering this at the studio for the month of September. Check out this really fun event that we had at the studio in August. And here are a few tips that we love for fall hair and makeup. And here's my favorite book that I'm reading right now. I'm not selling anything. I'm educating. I'm letting them know what's going on. I'm keeping in touch. We get sold to, I don't even know the statistic. I feel like every minute of every day, someone is selling something to me. So when you're reaching out, just be chill. Just be happy you're here. So grateful that we're, a part of your wedding day. If you want to come in, here's the other services that we offer. Don't forget to book us for your if you are plan I mean, it's children is a little bit of a touchy subject, but don't forget that we do anniversary shoots, we do maternity shoots, family shoots, Christmas parties. There's many reasons for us to come see us again. Maybe offer like a referral discount, maybe offer their next makeup application for free or half off as an incentive to bring them in. It's imperative that you do those things. It's imperative that you keep in touch. Just expecting them to remember you when there's so many people out there doing the same thing as you is a little presumptuous. You need to put the effort into keeping that relationship alive. It's just like a marriage, you got to go on date nights. You got to go and make dinner for each other. You got to hold each other's hands. And I think it's important that you remember to hold your clients' hands. One thing that I like to do in that I kind of forget about actually, but is social proof. What that means is when you get a review, post that, share that. When you get a text message from someone that says like, "Oh my God, Katie, I love my makeup so much. It looks amazing. It stayed all day." Post that on Instagram, girl. Screenshot, post, easy, done. All that's doing is it's just reiterating and solidifying that potential client's decision to book you. And it's also reminding those past clients, hey, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did love it when Katie did my makeup. Frick, she's good. I'm going to book her for my maternity shoot. Boom. That's how that happens. Easy, right? The bridal business is really easy because we're a revolving door of clients coming in and out every weekend. We've got a different bride every weekend, but keeping connections alive is really important. If you are a studio and you have the space or the capacity, and honestly, even if you aren't, but you are recognizing the value of networking and community and that kind of thing, hold events, you guys. Hold events. And please, for the love of God, at your first event, don't charge an arm and a leg. Do it for like free, maybe. Do it because you love it. Your clients are going to appreciate that so much. Trust me when I say that. The value and the return on investment that you get out of holding an event like that, even if it's like an hour, 2 hour long seminar, you set up some tables and chairs. You say, here are the trends that I'm seeing in 2026. If you're a bride, these are the things that you need to think about. Oof, I'm going to write that down because that is a great idea. Come on, like get out there, put yourself out there, but ask them to come back. Let's say we're doing this for like repeat clients. Let's not do a bridal thing then. Let's say we're going to do something like I did a mature skin makeup class. Perfect. Your brides are getting older every year. If you're not into classes and teaching, there's lots of options that we can think of together. Please, I always say this, reach out. As you can see, my brain just like works and spins because I've done so much and I have so many ideas running through me. As you're listening to this series, I hope that It has not only made me a little bit more relatable because you can see that I have had a plethora of events and clients and experiences, but I hope that you feel a little bit more seen and heard. I hope that your clients don't feel like strangers anymore, and you might have a little bit more clarity when it comes to how to deal with certain challenges, how to elevate that experience. There's just so many different ways. I mean, your clients are paying your bills after all, and you want those people to stick around, and you want them to say your room in a name full of people. And you do that by taking care of them from the minute they contact you, even before that. You are nurturing a relationship even before they send that email asking if you're available. One thing actually I'm going to add into the client experience is a nurture sequence. So when someone inquires with you, set up an automated nurture sequence in your email marketing software, which I know you use because I know you do email marketing, and you plop their email in there. It'll be a 7-day sequence. It'll send an email or whatever you want. Hey, thank you so much for contacting Blush. Here's a little bit about us. 2 days later, did you know that Blush has completed over 15,000 weddings since 2007, and we have over 500 5-star Google reviews? Incredible, right? 3 days later, if you're looking to book your wedding, here's how we suggest it. Here's some photos of our brides. And all that's doing, it might seem like a lot, but trust me, it's not, and it works. It's like you're constantly reminding your client, hey, here we are. Don't forget about us. I know you inquired with 5 other people, but here's why we're great. And it works, you guys. It works. As you've listened to this episode, part 3 specifically, I challenge you to design one surprise or elevated offer that you can give your clients that won't break the bank, but they're going to love. So whether that's the little touch-up kit, whether it's your prep guide, just add something to your service repertoire because it will pay off, I promise you. And once you start doing these things and it becomes second nature, you can start adding more, and then you get more clients, and then you get a team member, and then you're running an empire. That's how it happens. This whole series has been so freaking fun. It is like second nature what we're talking about here. Yeah, I just hope you get value out of this. I'll be honest, like putting out a podcast is super vulnerable. And so knowing if people get anything from it it's challenging if I don't hear from you guys. So don't be scared. Like I'm asking for your feedback. People are changing all the time. You guys are changing I'm changing. And it's good to stay with the time. So this 3-part series was for you, my friends, and share it with your friends. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you get some value, and let's make some money. Thank you so much for tuning into the Expansion Code Bridal Edition, your VIP access to a booked out, balanced, and thriving bridal business. If you loved today's episode, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow beauty pro. For more tips and behind the scenes magic, hang out with me on Instagram at IamHeatherDick or visit theexpansioncode.ca. Until next time, keep slaying those styles, leading with confidence, and remember, every detail counts, and so do you. Another little disclaimer, while I love sharing advice and business wisdom, I am not your lawyer, I'm not your accountant, and I'm not your fairy godmother. If you do want to be best friends, though, you can hit me up. Everything on this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so no lawsuits, okay?